Good morning, friends. Today we're going to be doing a full day of midsummer garden maintenance. I want to start here in the hydrangea room where I have tons of Invincibelle Smooth Hydrangeas. And I was reading on the Proven Winners website that if you just deadhead the blooms of the Invincible series, they will re-bloom again for you in the fall. So I want to give that a try this year because, as you can see, Invincible Spirit II does just naturally put on a few more pink blooms as the summer season progresses. But what happens is these pink blooms turn to green within about a month. So let's start here with Invincibelle Spirit II. And if you see the hydrangea moving, that's because Grace is making her way through the hydrangea room this morning. So in the early summer, in about, I would say, very early June here in southern Pennsylvania, this shrub is in full glorious bloom and all the blooms are a vibrant pink. That vibrant pink fades to more of this dusty pink before changing to green. And I like the green, but I think it would be fun to see another pink show come late fall. So let's go ahead and just simply deadhead about half of the blooms off Invincible Spirit II and see if we can get her to give us a really glorious rebloom in the fall. So what I'm going to do is cut the flower head off right above the first set of leaves. And I'm going to try to cut off maybe every other bloom because I don't want to be left with nothing on my shrub. I'll make sure and link the article on reblooming Invincibelle hydrangeas in the description section below so you can read up on this fascinating concept as well. Apparently, we should see new growth from the sides of the cut in 3 weeks, and then in 6 weeks we should see some blooms. So we are looking at early fall at that point because it's mid-July now. So I hope you'll stay tuned for our garden walk and talks, especially the ones that take place in early October, and we'll see, can Invincible Spirit II truly put on a second rebloom with tons of gorgeous pink flowers? I sure hope so. Now here we have Invincibelle Ruby, which I really love. These blooms are much more vibrant than Invincible Spirit II, and then they age out to pink before eventually turning green. So once again, I'm just gonna come right underneath the bloom head and just deadhead these, especially the ones that are kind of falling into the path. We might as well give that a go. If I had to compare Ruby, Mini Mauvette, and Invincible Spirit II against one another, I would say Ruby holds its color the best and for the longest. Second is Mini Mauvette, and in last place is Invincible Spirit II. Invincible Spirit turns green, I would say, within about 2 to 3 weeks of being pink. These seem to hold their color more like 4 to 5 weeks. So just something to note, but Invincible Ruby is on the shorter side. This is a full-size shrub that we're working on right now. So I think that's good. I don't want to get rid of all the blooms, but I do want to test it out. And you know what? Why don't we go ahead and save these gorgeous blooms for the dried flower Christmas tree this year. Here we have Invincibelle Mini Mauvette, and you can see it's holding its color nicely. I'm still getting a nice dusty pink from this shrub, but here's a new bloom that it's putting on so that we can just contrast an old bloom against a fresh new bloom. Fresh bloom on the left, old bloom on the right. In terms of how this shrub looks right now, if I wasn't making this video and if I wasn't trying out this experiment, I don't think I would bother to deadhead this shrub. I still really like the way it looks, and it's still providing nice contrast here in the hydrangea room. But for the sake of this experiment, let's go ahead and take some of the bloom heads off of this one too and see how it does in terms of reblooming. So I think I'll just take maybe about 10 blooms off this shrub. I've got June bugs flying at me today in the garden. Can we get our Invincible hydrangeas to put on a strong rebloom in the fall? Fingers crossed, and I will definitely update you come October. I'd also like to have my Spirea rebloom in the fall. This I've done many times in the past, so I know it works well. I'm not exactly sure what variety of Spirea this is because I've had it for a really long time. It has beautiful lime green foliage and lovely pink blooms. It blooms primarily in late May here in south central Pennsylvania, and if I cut it back now, it will bloom again in late September. Well, there we have it. Not a perfect ball, but certainly better than the shape that we started out with. I'll tell you what, it is another hot one here in Pennsylvania today. Let's head over into the shade and talk a little bit about fertilizer. I need to fertilize my pots, and I'm also going to fertilize those hydrangeas that I just deadheaded in order to get more blooms from the hydrangeas and more blooms from the lantana in my pots. The fertilizer I'm going to use today is Neptune's Harvest. I don't have anything to do with this company. I bought it myself on Amazon. Now, what I'm looking for here is a high middle number because what I want from my flowering pots is more flowers. The first number, N, nitrogen, equals more leafy growth. The second number, P, phosphorus, equals more flowering, more fruiting, and better rooting. The third number, K, potassium, equals overall plant health and vigor. So I really want to look for a higher middle number if my goal is more flowering. There's an old gardening saying that goes, fertilize weekly, meaning weaker strength every week. I like to take that even a step further and do weekly, not strong, diluted bi-weekly. That way I can flush the containers with just pure rainwater every other week. I'm just gonna eyeball this. I'm guessing about 4 capfuls is 1/8 of a cup. And I like to give these ginormous pots from Henry's Studio a full watering can each. I have to use Neptune's Harvest fertilizer when Grace is not outside because she loves the smell, so that is something to be aware of. It is very hard for me to use Neptune's Harvest fertilizer in a landscape situation because Grace will go and dig up that area. It just smells too fishy and too delicious. Even though I'm sitting next to a beautiful stand of Dizzy lilies, I'm glad we don't have smell-o-vision for this video. Not because of these gorgeous lilies, but because I smell like a very strange combination of sweat, fish, and soil. So I'm gonna say goodbye for now and get all showered up. I wanna wish you a wonderful day out there in your gardens. Hopefully it's not quite as humid where you're located, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.